Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I took a really simple tag and I turned it into what is now the new Free Cards channel logo. So as you can see here, what I have is I took a picture of a tag I did with a $1 marker. And then I took that picture, I uploaded it into Illustrator, and I did an image trace out of it, a simple image trace. And that image trace, I essentially play around with the threshold until I'm happy with how it looks. And that's what you'll see me do right here. You see when it looks, when it has the threshold all the way up, it'll look kind of weird, so I'll take it down. And then I'll expand that trace and I'll smooth it out with the pencil tool. In my opinion, image tracing is one of the fastest ways of vectorizing an image, but you always have to go in after the trace is done and expand it and smooth it out. And you'll see that I'm smoothing out all the ridges with the pencil smoothing tool. And there's gonna be some places, some gaps that the trace did not take, like here. I make sure to fill those up using the blub brush tool. And I'll do that throughout the entire image, smoothing out all the places that need. And I'll also take some chunks and I'll erase parts that I think the image trace took too far. And I'll do that using the eraser tool. So I'll use a combination of the pencil smoothing tool, the blub brush, and the erasing tool to just clean the tag as much as possible. Now what you see me doing here is just I'm playing with the aspect ratio pretty much and the proportions of the image. And I am kind of squishing it until I like it enough, and then I'll go in and continue to detail out all the parts that need smoothing. When this tag, especially the image trace, made that A thicker than every other letter, so I went ahead and I took a big part with the eraser tool, and that's what you see me doing right here, just finishing up and smoothing out the image trace until I am completely content with it. Now, once you're satisfied with the cleanup of the image trace, you're going to proceed to duplicating that. And what you do is you copy and paste that layer right on top of each other. And a quick tip in case you didn't know, if you want to create a shadow effect like I'm doing here, you just select it with the V tool, select the image, and you're gonna use Control C to copy, and instead of V, that's the normal paste, you're gonna use Control F, and that's gonna paste it right on top of where the original thing that you copied was located, so you can just use the arrows to create a shadow. So all I did was, once I pasted it on top of each other, I selected it, I moved it a little bit downwards and a little bit to the side to create that shadow 3D graffiti effect. And then once I was pleased enough with the aspect of it, then I just start playing around with the colors. So the benefit you have in working with a program like Illustrator is you can try every possible combination of colors, and that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm just starting to play with different color gradients, and I'll do this with every single logo I create. Once I am content with the design, I'm gonna go ahead and start copying it, duplicating it, and trying different combinations of colors. I personally believe that gradients are a great way of making a simple, basic design pop up. A lot of designers tend to just use flat colors, but using gradients and mixing different layers of gradients, I believe is going to give you the best results in this type of design. I'm definitely not recommending gradient usage for every type of design. And personally, when I'm working on a professional logo and it is a gradient on the main design, I always make sure to provide flat versions of the logo. Every time that I hand out a professional logo, I'll hand the client a folder with different variations of it, and one of them is going to be the original design. If it's 3D and has gradients and stuff like that, I'll have that original, and then I'll have a flat version of it, a black and white version of it. And this is because not every type of design is going to work for every medium. Now, with this design that I'm doing right now, I did this in the RGB spectrum of colors because it's going to be mainly used for digital design. If I was designing a logo that would be used for multiple platforms, print, etc., I would be using it in a CMYK color scheme. Now, going back to the logo, once I played around with the colors until I was happy with the mix that I created, I also went ahead and provided an outline for the design. All I did was I duplicated the layer 3 times. One is the main gradient, one is the shadow, and the other is the outline. After that, I selected a font that I would use for the type section of the logo, the arts part. Then I played around with the layout until I was happy. And I went ahead and I tried to match the same colors of the gradient in the top with that bottom font. Then I proceeded to duplicate it and create that same 3D shadow graffiti effect. And I added some highlights here using the pen tool. Now what I'm doing here is I'm bringing the 2 versions of the logo that I'm going to be doing. I always do a version that's going to be used for dark color backgrounds and a version that's going to be used for light backgrounds. Now to soften up those highlights in the arts, I used the blur effect. And here you see I have 3 different versions of it. All that changes here is a little bit of the color aspect with that light and dark background form. Now these are the 2 versions that we ended up with. One for light backgrounds, one for dark backgrounds. Here you go. So that's how I took a basic tag and turned it into a logo. If you like this, go ahead and thumbs up the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll know when my next tutorial comes out. I know it's been a while since my last video, but with all the pandemic stuff, I have a lot of time to make videos now. So I hope you stick around and see you next one.